Hello, Sandy employees. This is Barbara Higgins. Welcome to the 2019-2020 Sandy City Handbook Training. And we sent out a link with the employee handbook in the email that had the link to this training. So we strongly encourage you to bookmark the link or download the handbook so that you have it accessible for when you need it. So we've had some major changes with the PTO policy and short-term medical leave. So we have quite a few changes for the handbook. If you have questions, we still encourage you to contact a member of Human Resources so that we can further explain any questions you might have. Okay, so the first change is on page 4, where we have updated the population for Sandy City for 2019 to 98,949. Further down on the page, on page 4, is our new Sandy City values, Aspire. And you'll be learning more about this in the coming months, but we are very excited about these new values and how we can implement it throughout the city. And then on page 6 is our medical exams, and we've simply added the website for WorkMed for your information if you would like to be able to look up their website. Then on page 7, under termination of employment, we have removed the conversion for disability insurance as it is no longer applicable. And then we've added information on our new retiree health plan. So employees that have worked with the city for at least 20 years and are retiring have the option of staying on the city's healthcare plan for them and their spouse for up to 5 years. They will just be required to pay the premium as well as a small percentage. So that is an option for employees if they choose to. If you have questions on that, please feel free to contact us. Then on page 10, we have the list of paydays for 2019-2020. And please make note of the paydays that have the asterisks. This is when there's a third paycheck in the month. And so there will be no deductions taken out of those paychecks. And then on page 11, this is a sample of the pay stub. So we've just put a description of what each of the different boxes means. So if you have questions on your pay stub, this can give you that explanation. Next on page 12, under overtime pay procedures, we have just put in here, we've added information about employees being able to change their selection of whether they choose, this is for hourly employees, whether they choose comp time or overtime. They have to, all of you should have signed a form. And so you can choose to change your selection up to once a year. So we just ask you to contact HR if you'd like to change your selection. Next, under disaster emergencies on page 12, we've added information about exempt employees and that they can flex their time if they are called in on an emergency and have to work outside of business hours. They do have that option, working with their department head to be able to flex their time. Then on page 14 is our list of holidays for the next 18 months. We've removed the 2 personal days and the information about personal days as they will no longer be added to your total because of PTO. So the 2 personal days are going away. But you are getting a mayor's holiday. Mayor Bradburn has given all employees 8 hours of holiday time to be able to use between July and the end of the year. So it's just that it needs to be approved by your supervisor and make sure that there are sufficient staffing levels to take that time off. Okay, so paid time off is replacing vacation. This is one of our big changes this year. So on page 15, we've updated the charts from vacation to PTO. And as we've said in the mayor's town hall and in our trainings, as well as the video training that we did, PTO is paid time off. This is meant to be used for sick or vacation. You're going to be accruing it at a higher rate than just vacation. And so you'll be able to use this whenever you need that paid time off. So please refer to this policy. We've changed the charts Wherever it says vacation, we've changed it to paid time off. And then we've gone into detail on the policy. And then the other big change is paid sick leave being changed to short-term medical leave. So this is on page 16, and we've added in all of this information. So you are going to be able to use sick leave as normal sick leave through December 31st. So the reason that this was allowed to happen is so that you have time to build up your PTO bank before the end of the year. So you should be able to just be able to use your paid time off for sick or vacation time, but you can use your sick leave if necessary. Also, we added 20 hours of short-term medical leave into your sick bank to use in your bank for when it converts in January. However, if you need to use that time, it is in your sick bank. Then as of January 1st, all sick time converts to short-term medical leave. So basically a short-term disability program. So if you have a medical emergency for you or a family member and you have used 80 hours of PTO and need additional time off, this is when you can apply for short-term medical leave. So this would be when most employees will be on FMLA. You can also apply to be on STML as well. Unless you are a new employee, you will most likely already be on FMLA when you need to apply for short-term medical leave. And we will have the application in Human Resources if you have questions. So this policy goes into detail about how the short-term medical leave policy will work. You will be able to have 480 hours maximum in your bank each year. Now, for employees that have over 480 hours now, all of your time will convert and you will be grandfathered in at that higher balance as of January 1st. But moving forward, the maximum amount of hours you can have is 480. The reason we do this is FMLA allows 480 hours or 12 weeks of leave. So if you have questions on that, please feel free to contact us. Okay, so with family medical leave, in years past, you've been able to use a maximum of 48 hours of sick leave to care for a family member. Well, now that sick leave is going away, that 48 hours is no longer applicable. So you can use as much PTO as you need to care for a family member. This also applies to STML. If you have been approved for STML and are on FMLA, you can use as much STML leave as you are approved for through FMLA to care for that family member. So with jury duty and witness leave and military leaves of absence, basically all that we've done here is we've removed the information about your personal leave since we no longer have those personal leave days and vacation, and we've just added in PTO and holiday hours are the types of hours you can use for these types of leave. And again, if you have questions on this, feel free to contact us. Okay, leave without pay on page 20. So basically, we've just added in that employees need to use all of their accrued time before they can use unpaid leave. So if there's any question on that, make sure that you cannot go on unpaid leave until all of your banks of time have been exhausted and you have no additional paid leave left. And then on page 22 and page 23, we've updated the charts for this year on your paid benefits. So this is what we do every year, so feel free to refer to those charts. And then on page 25 is the medical plans and providers where we've updated plan information. So this is what we do every year for this. And the same applies to the dental plans and providers on page 28. So we've just updated the plan information and the costs for this year. And then the same thing on page 29. Medical insurance summary plan year chart, we've just updated the numbers for this year. So please feel free to look at that. And then the retiree medical insurance chart, again, we've just updated the new amounts for this year. Okay, with workers' compensation on pages 34 through 36. So we have just changed the information to reflect short-term medical leave and PTO, and then we've removed the information about the time cards needing to go to risk management. So that's something that does not need to happen. And then you will be able to, you can use PTO for workers' comp. And then short-term medical leave can be used in small chunks, but you will need to be working with risk management as well as your doctor on these. So we go into detail on this policy. So feel free to contact us or risk management with any questions you have on that. And then on the 401k plans, we've just corrected the match information. Last year, the match changed for Tier 2 employees to 3%, and so we just needed to change on one area here. And then we've removed information about needing to come to HR for loan applications. That no longer applies. You can do it online. The same thing with 457 plans on page 40. You do not have to come to Human Resources for your forms for withdrawals. That can be done online. And then the Retiree Health Savings Program on page 40. We no longer have the Retiree Health Savings Program since we no longer have sick time that you can convert to the RHS. So those of you who do have an RHS account, that will be frozen until you leave employment from the city and or retire. So your money is not going away. We're just not continuing the program. Okay, and with the wellness program on page 42, we have just updated some of the reimbursement amounts. We've increased some of the amounts. So please feel free to look at this as well as the weight loss programs. So if you're interested in seeing what the new amounts are, please feel free to refer to that. And then with computer and network use, we've just removed the terminology from the assistant CAOs to the CAO since we no longer have assistant CAOs. So if you have questions on that, let us know. And then with our gun policy with employee gun use, we have just clarified our policy, clarified the state law in our policy so that it's a little bit more clear because it was a little vague before. So if you have questions on our gun policy, please feel free to contact us. And then with the drug-free workplace, we have removed in the safety-sensitive definition, so all employees that have a safety-sensitive job are required by state law to be randomly drug tested. However, those that have significant financial responsibilities no longer fall under that safety-sensitive definition. So we have removed that. And then we have updated the hours for scope. So we've been sending out emails on that as well, but we wanted to make sure we updated that. So I've gone through this information rather quickly. We are happy to discuss or explain any of these in more detail if you have any questions. But we want to make sure that all employees understand, have a firm understanding of, especially of PTO and short-term medical leave, as this is a brand new policy for all of us in the city. So please feel free to contact us if you have any questions. But this concludes the 2019-2020 Sandy City Employee Handbook Training. Thanks for your time.